Hi guys, Astro Amy here, and I am making this video to talk to you about Pluto stationing retrograde today. So, Pluto going retrograde, it happens like 5 to 6 months of a year. So it's like half a year. So it's not a very rare occurrence, but I mentioned it in a Facebook post earlier and said I could make a video about it, so here I am. There's probably a lot more important transits I can make a video about, but hopefully I'll get around to that. Anyway, so Pluto is the planet of transformation. It's the planet of power. It is one of, if not the most powerful planets. It has the most profound effect on us. It is furthest away from us. The planets that are furthest away from us, the outer planets like Pluto, Neptune, Uranus, they have the most powerful effect on us because their orbits are a lot slower. So how they affect us is more subtle and slow, but it is profound. So Pluto, the effect that Pluto has on us is very transformational, and it doesn't happen suddenly. It's slow, but it's really important. And Pluto is, like I said, it represents power, transformation, kind of the darker things in life. It is the dark side, basically. And it is the ruler of the sign of Scorpio. It is the modern ruler. The co-ruler of Scorpio is Mars as the traditional ruler also. But, and right now, Pluto is in the sign of Aquarius. It has been there since January of this year. Before that, it was in Capricorn since 2008. So it has a really slow transit, so it takes a long time to get through each sign. So, and it'll be in Aquarius until for 20 years. So this is just the very beginning of this energy that we're feeling, and it's going to affect us in this way over the next 20 years. We're going to have all these massive changes in whatever area of life that it's going to affect you in. So Aquarius is a sign of friendships, of humanitarianism, of social groups, technology, the internet. We're going to have a lot of changes in technology, which we can already see, like AI type stuff. And with Pluto being a kind of darker planet, I can see a lot of really dark technology coming out over the next 20 years, like stuff like that. So anyway, when planets go retrograde, they're not actually going backwards. It's just how we perceive them to look from our vantage point here on Earth. So they're not actually moving retrograde. That's just how we see them. And right now, Pluto is at 2 degrees Aquarius, and it'll move back 3 degrees to 29 degrees Capricorn. It goes back into Capricorn for the last time for the next 200 years until it goes into Capricorn again. In September is when it'll get back to Capricorn for a couple months. But other than that, it's just going to be in Aquarius for 20 years. And when planets go retrograde, I know a lot of people know about Mercury retrograde, and they're like, electronics, and my car broke down and I got stuck in traffic and stuff like that, because Mercury rules electronic devices and cars and transportation and communication. So, but that's not actually what's happening when Mercury is retrograde. That's just kind of how we perceive it. Because when retrogrades happen, they're basically a time to slow down and go inward and to reassess, to renew, to redo things, to rethink. So when Pluto goes retrograde, like it is now for the next until think until October. The beginning of October is when it'll go direct again. So for the next few months, when Pluto is retrograde, it's asking us to go inside and reevaluate our sense of power. And it's going to be in different areas for everybody based on your own specific chart and how it affects you. But I think that like when Pluto is direct, that's when things happen externally. When planets are direct, that's when things are happening externally in the world, when you actually do things with those energy. When it's retrograde, you're supposed to kind of take a step back and reevaluate yourself. So with Pluto going retrograde, we need to be reevaluating our relationship to our power, our own inner power, and our psychology and our emotions, because those are things that Pluto, represents. Our dark side, basically. Like, we have to, it's the time that we're supposed to be doing shadow work. We're supposed to be really working on like those deep, dark things within us. So a lot of, astrologers will make it out like Pluto is this really bad planet, it's the great malefic. And it can be. There's actually lots of instances where Pluto, has a lot of bad things happen from Pluto energy. Excuse me. So it can be, all the really dark things in the world are Pluto energy. But it is transformation. So it's like all of the really bad things that you've had happen in your life, if you didn't have those things happen to you, if you didn't go through that, you would not have power. You would not be powerful. So you have to go through, dark things to access that power within. And that's basically what we're being called to do right now, is to kind of think about how we could have been, giving our power away, or we could have been abusing our power. We could have been, manipulation, obsessiveness are kind of Pluto things. So somebody may have been using their power to harm you, or you could have been using your power to harm somebody else, or it could have been in a certain situation, like at your work, you were manipulative and whatever. It's different for everybody, but I'm trying not to make this video too long because I've got to go to bed. But I just wanted to kind of give that information to people to let you know that when Pluto is retrograde, it's the time that we're supposed to reevaluate our relationship to power, our own inner power, and go within to kind of see where we're at with ourselves. Like if there are, bad habits that we've been doing, I suppose, anything like that. But it's going to be different for each person, based on your own chart. So I can't really say exactly how it's going to affect you. Right now, Pluto is sextile Mars, because Mars just entered Aries. And Aries is the natural placement for Mars. So that's actually really good for us over the next few weeks. We'll have more energy, we'll have more initiative to do things, because Mars is how you physically do things, your initiative, your motivation, your drive. So with it being in Aries, which is the natural placement for Mars, we're all going to have a little bit more drive to to do things in our life, which is great because over the past few weeks, Mars has been in Pisces, and it was conjunct Saturn a couple weeks ago, which kind of was a really kind of slow down or whatever for us. And then it's still kind of conjunct Neptune, so there might be some kind of deceptive actions happening right now, I suppose, but here in a few days it'll kind of come away from that conjunction and it'll get a little bit better. And then yesterday and still today, Pluto was exactly square Venus. Venus is the planet of love, finances, or self-worth. And a square aspect is a harsh aspect. It is a little bit more difficult. It's something that causes you to take action. So with Pluto being square to Venus, there may have been a lot of breakups or, difficult things going on in relationships or with your finances or just with your sense of self-worth, and if something is happening in your life that is breaking down due to the Pluto square Venus, I would say that it is supposed to. Like, it's supposed to break down so you can learn what not to do. And that is where you have your power. Like, what power do we have? We only have, power over ourselves, We're the only thing we can control. So you have to, maybe you were trying to control things outside of yourself, and you have to reevaluate, I can't control this. I can only do me. So if things have been falling apart for you, that's probably why, especially in, romantic situations and stuff. But we're going to come into some better aspects happening. And now that Mars is in Aries, which is where it naturally feels good, it's at home there, and Venus is moving into Taurus soon, which is the ruler of Taurus is Venus, so it's going to be in its natural placement also. So I think that coming up, we're going to have a lot better energy over the next few weeks. And April was the worst month of the entire year astrologically. The energy was crazy for everybody. There was so much happening. There was, Uranus conjunct Jupiter in Taurus, which will not happen again for another 84 years. So big transits, eclipses, lots of stuff happening, and it was really difficult for most of us. And May is a much better month. May has a lot of really positive shifts coming in. Jupiter is moving into Gemini. Yay for me. Yay for anybody with Gemini energy. That's going to be a little bit more helpful and positive for us. And there's just a lot better transits happening. And somebody asked me about something about Virgo earlier, and so I wanted to mention that Virgo has been having a hard time lately, I'm sure, and I know a lot of Virgo risings, a lot. And you all have had, if you're a Virgo rising or if you're a Virgo sun or moon, you have had Saturn in your 7th house of relationships since last year. So and Saturn is the planet of restriction, of difficulties, and it's not just for no reason. Saturn is basically not the teacher, but Saturn teaches us through harsh lessons. It is, you have to do the hard work, and then at the end you'll get rewarded for hard work. That's what Saturn wants to teach us, how to work hard. So Saturn has been in your 7th house of relationships for a while now, and that's, difficult. And yeah, I mean, it could also be positive. It could also mean that, you are cultivating a very serious relationship, that things have got a lot more serious in whatever relationship you're in, or it could mean, breakups or just really difficult things with your relationships. And Neptune has been in Pisces since 2012. And, Neptune is the planet of deception and elusiveness, and that could also have been causing difficulties in your relationships also. And then last month, Mars was conjunct Saturn in Pisces. So that was really hard too. So whoever asked me about Virgo energies, yes, I know y'all have been going through it. And that's why. But hopefully, Mars has moved into Aries now. That's one malefic out of your 7th house of relationships. And, Neptune is still there, and Saturn's going to be there for a little while longer too. But hopefully that'll make it a little bit better, I guess, with Mars moving out of there. But anyway, I just wanted to answer that question, I suppose. But I'm going to go ahead and just quickly say how it's going to affect each sign in what area of life, I suppose. It's going to be, Pluto, like I said, is going to be in Aquarius for the next 20 years. So this is just the beginning, and you're gonna feel this over the next 20 years. And for the fixed signs of Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, and Scorpio, it's going to be the most challenging, I would say, for you, but you have the most potential for transformation as well. So anyway, for Aries, Pluto is in your 11th house of friendships, social groups, and it's gonna be affecting you over the next 20 years in those areas. And for Taurus, Pluto is in Aquarius in your 10th house of career, your social status. So Pluto is affecting you in those areas over the next 20 years. And then for Gemini, which is myself, I'm a Gemini rising, Pluto is in our 9th house of our belief system, higher learning. I know that I've definitely felt it. The 9th house is also teaching. So even like me doing this right now, like I feel like I'm teaching astrology basically. And that's 9th house. So we're going to have a lot of transformation in teaching, higher learning, our spiritual beliefs, And then Cancer, Pluto in Aquarius is going to be affecting you, or is affecting you, in your 8th house of intimacy, your deep relations with others, how you share other people's resources. And then we have Leo next. Leo, this is, I'm a Leo moon, so this is for me too. Leo, Pluto is transforming your one-on-one relationships, how you do relationships. You're gonna have a lot of transformation in that area of your life for sure over the next 20 years. Potential for power plays or just having powerful relationships as well. And then Virgo, Pluto is in your 6th house of health, work, your daily habits. I know a Virgo rising, I'm not going to say who, but I know a Virgo rising that has really been working on transforming their daily habits since Pluto went into Aquarius, maybe even a little before that. Like a lot. like huge changes, like for the better. So that's great. And then we have Libra. Libra's next. This is my sun sign. Libra, this is affecting you in your 5th house, which is your children and the way you have fun, you know, your romantic life, dating life, love. So you're going to have a lot of transformation in these areas over the next 20 years. And then Scorpio, this Pluto is in your 4th house. The 4th house is your foundation. It is your childhood, how you were raised, and it is your emotional root. It is the root of the chart. It is your home life, your actual physical home. So you're going to have a lot of changes in this area over the next 20 years. And then Sagittarius, Pluto is transiting your 3rd house of communication, of your relationships with your siblings, cousins, but yeah, how you communicate is definitely going to change over the next 20 years. And then we have Capricorn. Capricorn, Pluto is transiting your 2nd house of self-worth, of finances, your possessions. You're going to have a lot of changes, excuse me, changes in that area over the next 20 years. And then we have Aquarius. Now Aquarius, Pluto just entered your 1st house. Your 1st house is you, it's yourself. Now this is not only, you know, it's your physical body also. So you could have a lot of changes just in your physical self, you know, and that is up to you whether that's going to be good or whether that's going to be bad, you know. You could have, you could transform your body, like work out every day and get like super fit over the next 20 years. Or you could like do the opposite and eat really unhealthy and get really unhealthy over the next 20 years. So it's up to you. But it's not just your physical body, it is your personality, your whole entire self. So Aquarius, this affects you the most. And then who did we miss? Pisces. Pisces, this transit is happening in your 12th house. Yeah, I had to think about that. So Pisces, this transit is happening in your 12th house. The 12th house is the house of spirituality. It is the house of seclusion. It is your mental health. It is your sleep. You could have a lot of changes in your sleep over the next 20 years. You could just feel like you really want to be alone over the next 20 years. There's a possibility to work on your spiritual beliefs. You know, you can have like some kind of spiritual awakening for sure for a lot of Pisces. And usually that happens when you're alone. So anyway, that was how the Pluto transit is going to affect, or what area of life the Pluto transit is going to happen for you over the next 20 years. And like I said, Pluto goes retrograde basically half the year every year, so it's not very rare. It happens, you know, and but this is the first time it's been retrograde in Aquarius in our lifetime. So, and when it's retrograde, it's a time to go inside and reevaluate your emotional and psychological makeup, your darkness, and you want to kind of align with that so you can transform it into light, you know. So I would definitely go inward. And anyway, I hope this helped somebody in some way. You'll learn a little bit more about astrology. If you have any questions or anything, just let me know.